Amit Aliolu. Amit, so why is Iraq accusing Iran of interference?
Surely it is not interference. To say the least, Iran is the de facto leader or ruler, if you will, of Iraq after the American invasion of Iraq in 2003. Iran has been involved in everything in Iraq. Now, if you just consider the very strong proxies of Iran in Iraq, like the Hashd al-Sha'bi or the Popular Mobilization leaders, three of them, and if not all of them, the leaders I mean, pledge allegiance publicly to Iran. Hadi al-Amiri, he is one of these leaders who in the 80s fought with the Iranian forces against his own country, against Saddam Hussein army. And Qais al-Khazali, al-Muhandis, all these leaders publicly pledge loyalty and allegiance to the Iranians, and all of these are more powerful than the government, which also built on sectarian kind of representation by the Shia population. And all of these people, including the Sunni figures, also are loyal more to Iran rather than to the Iraqi people. That's why the people on the street, the Iraqis, took to the street with one famous slogan saying in Arabic, Iraq hurra hurra, Iran barra barra, which it translates to Iraq is a free country and Iran should be out. And they say, unless Iran does not respect the sovereignty of Iraq, they will stay in the streets till they clear all these elements of Iran in the government.
So we're seeing ever-growing protests against the Iraqi government. Where could this lead and what could the impact be?
Well, it depends, surely, on the way the Iraqi government is going to respond. Recently, the Prime Minister stated that he's going to make sweeping reforms, and he is ready even, as Barham Saleh, the Iraqi president, stated, to resign. But what is happening on the ground, the people understand that they've heard such pledges and promises before, and nothing happened in terms of the reform, in terms of any change of the politics and approaches. Now, it depends also on the way the kind of mentality of manhandling the protests. The people have been protesting in the street for a couple of months now. More than 150 people have been killed. Only in the first week, 100 protesters were killed by snipers along the building in Tahrir Square in the midst of Baghdad and all the other cities in Iraq. So it depends on how they're going to approach these protesters. If they're going to accept the demands on the ground, which seems unlikely by the calls of Sistani, who is a very eminent, kind of prominent Shiite leader, and all the Muqtada al-Sadr, also another prominent leader of Shiite, and the government, who are not backing down. With all these on the table, I don't think that the protesters will easily go back or back down unless their demands are met. We need to wait and see if the government is going to follow the approaches of Bashar al-Assad and kind of deteriorate the conditions to more civil war and violence, or they're going to adopt the model of Tunisia and Lebanon and step down and let a genuine reform to happen in Iraq.
Amit, thank you. Amit Aliolu.